The guy who's been front and center all night here, wants you to meet him properly right now. And the man's name is Andy Mauck. Andy Mauck hails from Columbus, Ohio, now residing down in Punta Gorda, Florida. Oh, that's tough, living in Florida.
It's a bit of a commute to work.
It is a bit of a commute. Yeah, he gets out of a lot of rehearsals by living in Florida. But you know, and this isn't something that just happened. Andy started hanging out with us, the Lightfoot band, back in the mid-'70s. He managed to get backstage at the Blossom Music Festival, I think, was the first time. Blossom was one of those great big amphitheaters, looked kind of like the Budweiser, what do you call it now, Molson Amphitheater, Budweiser stage.
Under pavilion.
Yeah, one of those.
20,000 people.
Big one. We loved playing there. We were there in Ohio a few times. And that's where this guy from beyond our southern border first started coming. We have a southern border problem too here in Canada. He started coming to see us. And it seemed like he kind of started making friends with Terry and myself, and got to meet Gordon. And you know, we've always been pretty open. We didn't have a bunch of thugs for security hanging around all the time. We were pretty approachable.
Which they had.
Yeah. Anyway, Andy, tell us a little bit more about how you got to be here with us.
Well, like many of you people, when I don't know what age you were, but in 1970 I was 14, and I didn't really know what kind of music I was really going to be into. All my friends were on the Led Zeppelin thing, and the Hendrix, and this and that. I was kind of listening to the James Taylor stuff, and you know, some acoustic things. And on the radio, I heard this "If You Could Read My Mind" song, and it almost stopped me in my tracks. I was working at a swimming pool at the time, and I just kind of heard, "Wow, what was that?" And I kind of heard it again, and then they had this Gordon Lightfoot guy. And so I went and bought the album, and it changed my life, because a friend of mine, who's a brilliant guitar player, was back then, still is, a dear friend, he pointed out, I said, "Listen, if you read mine, this something was great." He goes, "Oh, Andy, yeah, it's a great song, it's great lyrics, it's a great story, it's great voice, but what makes this thing is the band." He said, "There's licks in there that you got to listen to, and there's a lick that you'll hear in this one that Red Shea used to do, that I listened to that," and then he said, "Listen to the bass, listen to what he's doing." And it's different. It was, I mean, what Gord and his band created was different than your average stuff, right? And I've had this theory that a great song is a great song, and like as a solo bar performer, you can sing solo a great song and people will enjoy it. But what made it really memorable, at least to me and to most people, is the impact. The song was based on arrangements. It was Gord's voice, and it was the tone of the guitars, and it was the notes that were being played, the ones that weren't being played. And it's just, you know, taste levels off the charts. It's just, these guys, and these are the guys that did that. These are the same guys. And so, it changed the way I listen to music for the rest of my life, and I've always considered Gord was the best singer-songwriter of all time, the best voice of all time. So, yeah, I am trying to fill in for him. But Rick had heard me. We used to play a little bit sometimes after the shows. Not when the band was around, but he somehow snuck in when a bunch of us were playing. He heard me a few times and came up to me with some encouraging words once. That was 8 or 10 years ago. So when unfortunately Gord passed and they decided they wanted to do it, Rick had me in mind, but he had to do a bit of a sales job because these guys hadn't heard me. And we were friends. We were great friends, dear friends. You know, but Rick said, "Yeah, I've got to bring him up here and try." Okay. He was the rookie until I got here. It was 12 years ago, and he replaced my dear friend Terry, and so he had big shoes to fill too. But anyway, these guys have been my dear friends, and before I came up for the first rehearsal, I'm getting emails from these guys saying, "Hey, look, Andy, you're going to come up. You're going to be nervous. Don't be nervous. You know, it's just friends playing music." I said, "Very nice, but easy for you to say. I'm nervous as hell." But they encouraged me, and they said it went well. And they said, "Come back, work on a few things," and so the opportunity to do this is the biggest honor of my life. And these guys were like, see, this is the cool thing. Now, Gordon, Lightfoot, and these guys, they were my musical idols. These guys were my idols. And they became my friends over the last 47 years, which was pretty cool to begin with. But now, to be doing this, I mean, I'm really bummed at why I had this opportunity. Really bummed. We all miss Gordon. But by God, if the music's going to live on, I want to be part of doing it. And I'm really proud to do it. Thank you.